I'm not for the NDAA.
Well, I trust.
And Bush isn't for gun control. He just pushes for it. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, and I travel a lot. I talked to a lot of people. Yada yada yada. 8 out of 10 people don't even know what we just talked about, and then that's the most concerning thing. That combined with the Patriot Act, and then the Obamacare. This is not America anymore. And for my kids and my grandkids, you just have to just, Lord, let us pray a little bit harder here. But I'm not seeing people wake up like I wish they could. And you got to fight the fight. But wow.
Well, here's the deal. It varies which area you're in or who you tend to run into. Some areas you find 60, 70% are awake. Some places 5%. But every number and every globalist internal document that gets leaked or that's for more scholarly publication that they don't consider the public even privy to, even though it's public, they say the elite's in trouble, and their actuaries show that there's a huge awakening, and so they're battening down the hatches to try to suppress us. Remember, 3% started the war against the Redcoats when they kept pushing, or fought back. The Redcoats actually started the war. 5% won the war. So it's always 5% that decide things. And the globalists are less than 1/10 of 1%. And I guarantee you, we got about 25% that are really starting to get it. We got 10% that are really hardcore awake, 30, 40% that are somewhat awake. But you're right. I'd say on average about 65% of people, they know all about Sports Center, all about LeBron James, and all about, Tebow or whatever. And that's fine. It's just I wish they knew about socialist healthcare, world government, and even the NRA coming out last week, and this is confirmed now. It's not just me saying it. Obama does plan to use fiat ATF edicts to ban semi-autos next year. So it's on. And listen, the cops will come and will SWAT team your house and will try to make an example out of you, to scare everybody to turn their guns in. They're going to do it. And I want people to understand, and I want the police to understand, if 1/100th of gun owners out of 200 million stand up, that's now 2 million people that are going to fight you. And that's going to be a civil war. All because a bunch of globalist traitor criminals gave you orders that were illegal. Don't follow them. I'm not some macho guy that wants to see a bunch of dead cops. How about we just don't go along with this if that's what's ordered? God bless you, and I appreciate your call. Even dumbbells are more awake than they were. But look, thumb-sucking dumbbells, for whatever reason, I'll bet you money their ancestors weren't involved either. A lot of this is about bloodlines and families. I don't care what color you are, but everybody knows certain families, certain people stand up. Other people have always been followers that sit in the ditch. It's up to us to lead them, okay? We've got the truth. The enemy's got the lies. All we need is courage. We win, period. You just got to have the will. We'll win. Let's go ahead. Doesn't mean we'll win the first fight either. We just got to persevere. Let's go to Jet in Canada, then Mark, Derek, and John. Jet, thanks for holding. Welcome.
Hi, Alex. I'm a first-time caller, and I'm calling you about some of the things the previous guy had just talked about. I think Ron Paul is the only hope for America. And I hope that American people can get up and start to get their message out. Make some YouTube videos. There's a spot on the internet called Blog TV. It's live TV. You can be on there for as long as you want for free and start talking about this NDAA and the dangers that come from that.
You're right, and people, again, don't just think as Alex Jones is covering something that it's now been told. The power is when you tell it, whether it's to 10 people or 100. Get an access show, do a website, do a local paper, do a local blurb, make copies of films, get active. And then we've had success. Anything else yet?
You can be on there as long as you want, and I'm a former American, and I left America right when Obama was running for election because I knew what was coming. And I love America, but I will never step foot back in that country as long as he's there, and that's a shame. It's a shame.
Where have you moved to? Tell you what, stay there. I want to ask you where you moved to. I'm just interested because it's admitted the greatest exodus out of the United States that's ever happened is happening. And it's mainly the wealthy and ultra-rich. They are running so fast. They've done a great job ruining the country and selling us out and spoiling the nest. Just great job, scum. Great job ruining America. I want to hear more from the caller where they've run to.
You don't need me to tell you that humanity is in a deep crisis.
Answer my own question, looking at the computer screen here. Jet says that they're calling from Canada. And so, I mean, why did you decide to leave when Obama looked like he was going to get elected? I mean, how did you know that he was the real bellwether to the full takeover of America?
Tell that by looking at his face. When he's up there presenting himself, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You could tell he's a liar. He's a liar. That's all he's about. And another thing I want to make clear to all the listeners. I mean, I listen to you every day, and I have for years. When you leave America, even though Canada is somewhat free, you do not have the freedoms that you have in America with simple things like cell phones. You don't have a doctor and dentist on every corner. I mean, sometimes it takes 18 months just to get in for a hand problem into a doctor. You don't have the freedoms that you do in the States. So I'd like to make a challenge to every Alex Jones listener to take 5 minutes and pick up a phone and call your White House, call your local representative, call your senator, whoever, and tell them you want this NDDA out.
I hear you, and I appreciate your call. I think it is important to call these people. But I also think it's important just to call your neighbors, your friends, your family, or other people randomly and say, these crooks aren't listening to us. In a lot of ways, I think when we call Congress and they get 200 to 1, well, Dianne Feinstein says they got 2,000 to 1 phone calls against the banker bailout. But the average congressperson said about 100 to 1 calls, and polls showed 99% against. I think the crooks then just hire more SWAT teams, more drones, more police. I mean, they know you don't like them. They know you don't appreciate it, but they're up there stealing and robbing us blind and giving government contracts to their own wives and husbands' companies on record. And when they get caught, they say, oh, we're allowed to. We're members of Congress. That's called the Führer precept, that they're above the law. Okay, we're going to go to Mark in Utah, John in Georgia, Scott. Okay, folks, we had another one of those little hiccups. I've never had this happen on the road. This might be the end of me going on the road, whatever's going on here. Whatever reason it is, I thought the road was getting good enough to be able to do this. And whether it's just where we happen to be every day or whether it's the new things we've done, I'm just tempted to go right back to just good old-fashioned Skype the way we were doing it everywhere that worked good, a few cutouts here and there. Again, more of your phone calls coming up, and then Gerald Celente is going to be joining us. Don't forget, we got 15-day free trials at prisonplanet.tv. Okay, we are now into hour number 3. I am on the road from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We have Gerald Celente, always informative, joining us. Let's go back to your phone calls right now. Mark in Utah, welcome, sir.
Hi, Alex. How are you?
Good, sir.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Okay. Hey, I just heard the segment with Mancow saying how the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is backing Mitt Romney. I can't find any proof of that. I'm a member of the church. I've been so since I'm 19. I'm 47 now. The church, everything I'm reading, the scriptures that they have is total anti-New World Order. I mean, they even go on to say that the Constitution was inspired by God, that the Founding Fathers were raised up to bring forth this document. It's the greatest document. They even, in the Book of Mormon, even talk about the secret combinations and how they destroy whole civilizations in ancient America. And they talk about the importance of warning others of these secret combinations. And it just goes on and on, how the church is very anti-New World Order. They even tell you to fight against the Church of the Devil. I mean, it's pretty clear.
Yeah, I've got to be honest. I mean, I've got to be honest, I'm not really, I couldn't even say an expert on Mormons, but I just know that as far as my listeners go, a disproportionate amount, what Mormons are less than 1% of the population, and I'd say maybe 5% or more of my audience are Mormons, and they all seem to be anti-New World Order and seem to know what's going on more than most people. That's what I'm saying. Then you got Mitt Romney, who's this big New World Order guy, and, you know, they're saying that the Mormon church is supporting him, but I don't know any Mormon listeners of my show that are supporting him. They seem to all be supporting Ron Paul, but I don't know anybody else that's supporting Mitt Romney. I mean, is anybody seeing Mitt Romney bumper stickers or signs that aren't put up by the campaign? I mean, again, I'm calling all of this as a hoax.
Well, in here in Utah, you do see Mitt Romney stickers because a lot of people believe that, you know, he's going to be this great Mormon president. But what they don't realize, he's financed by all the major industries, you know, the military-industrial complex, the pharmaceutical-industrial complex, the banking industry, and these people don't understand the concept of fascism, and shows like yours are helping people wake up, but there are a lot of people that are drinking the floor. They're just not figuring this stuff out. But we are warning people, and people are waking up. But just like the rest of the world, you know, there's a lot of people that have eyes, but they're not open. They have ears, but they're not hearing.
Well, I mean, it's probably also kind of like a lot of black folks voted for Obama. In fact, a lot of black movie stars have said, just another guy last week came out and said, hey, I voted for Obama because he's black. I don't care what he does. He's black. I'm voting for him again. And that's like, wow. So vote for him because he's Mormon, or vote for somebody because they're Catholic and you're Catholic, or vote somebody because they're Muslim and you're a Muslim. You got to vote for somebody for what they stand for and what they've done, not what color they are. I mean, I would vote for a black Ron Paul in a second. I would vote for Hispanic Ron Paul in a millisecond. I would vote for an Asian Ron Paul in a second. I would vote for a white Ron Paul in a second. It's about a history of doing what you say you're going to do. Even if I didn't agree with Ron Paul on every issue, which I do, 99.9%. The fact, if I agree with him on 90% of stuff, but he was always consistent, it's the consistency is almost even better than just the fact that he's right on his issues, because you know that he's going to do what he says he's going to do. That's what has value, is the sureness. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, and I totally agree with you. I love your show. You helped me wake up 6 years ago, and I've been telling people about your show ever since. And have woken up a ton of people. What woke me up was, you know, if there's a war on terror, why are the borders wide open? And I'm so grateful to have come across your show, and I've spread it to so many people, and I just love it.
Well, thank you so much. Good to hear from you, Mark. All right, we got Celente coming up like 6-7 minutes after we come back, so I'm going to try to jam in John, Scott, Joseph, and Walter all together. But regardless, we'll get to all of you straight ahead. Stay with us. Hi. All right, we are back live. We're getting Gerald Celente on with us here in about 6 or 7 minutes from now. I want to jam in some more calls before we go to him here in just a second. But first, I do want to tell listeners that not only are these great products and absolutely amazing services, your purchase and support of them also makes the overall radio show, the news websites, the films, all of it possible. So again, expanding on that, we have Prisonplanet.tv and 15-day free trials that we're continuing to run to see the nightly news, to see the radio show, not just hear it. All of my films, so many other documentaries and films, 9 years of work. It'll be in April, all at Prisonplanet.tv. And also live, we're on the radio, and then, of course, the nightly news. Prisonplanet.tv, 15-day free trials. And then we also have InfoWarsTeam.com. It's how I've lost more than 37 pounds in 3 months. The Tangy Tangerine with the 90 essential minerals, the 90, and the key vitamins.